Hi guys, welcome back to the Forgetful Scholar, and let's chat about books. So this is a little different. I'm doing a book haul video this week. First one I ever done on this channel. Is it because I'm still in a reading slump and I went a little crazy filling up my TBR shelf? The answer to that is yes. The answer to that is yes. So, it's 11 books. I know a lot of other channels do like 60 books, 30 books, 1,000 book haul. I get it. But let me just kind of explain my TBR shelf and what happens with it. So, if you notice, the very zen elephant, under him, I put my TBR books, you know what I mean? So it's very visible. Every time I enter this room, my eye is drawn to it. Every time I leave this room, my eye is drawn to it. Because somewhere in my crow, magpie, whatever bird you want to use for the euphemism of being distracted by something shiny, I tend to be like, oh yeah, I have all these books on my TBR shelf, but like, oh, look at that new book. Oh, look at that book. It's all shiny and new, and I'm going to read that one instead. So that's what happens. So for my TBR shelf, I sort of have a deadline to finish it before the new year. And I know you're like, it's just March. Like, that's so long. Other booktubers finish them in like a week. You're right. You're absolutely right. But I procrastinate and switch them out for a newer model all the time. I am the worst. So, there we go. Now, the first two books I'm going to talk about are a little out of my normal genre. So, I love romance. I love romance novels. Historical, contemporary, a little bit. I'm getting more into it. I have found myself really enjoying indie authors with that. So there's paranormal, contemporary, historical, murder, mystery, all the genres I enjoy. Dark romance, every once in a while. It's when I'm feeling extra spicy, not all the time. So these two books are a bit of a departure. So I found these in my secondhand bookstore, which I love. Actually, 8 of these books are from my secondhand bookstore, and like 3 of them are from Barnes and Nobles. See, this is what happens when you leave me unattended in bookstores. I need a handler. I need a babysitter. So, Haunting Jordan by P.J. Adelman. Okay, and this seems more like kind of, I don't know if it's YA or anything like that, but it seems more of like a horror kind of mystery. Like, let me read the back, okay? Haunting Jordan. Jordan Marshall left LA for the quaint Pacific Northwest town of Port Chatham in pursuit of some much needed R&R. As the prime suspect in her cheating husband's murder, she had been hoping to immerse herself in the restoration of the charming Victorian she'd just bought and put all the talk of homicide investigations behind her. But soon she discovers that the coldest of cases cries out to be solved too. For this old house comes fully furnished with 2 ghoulish ghosts who have a centuries-old murder of their own they like her to look into. Now, if Jordan can keep the LA police at bay and sort through a suspect list of shady characters circa 1890, she might just clear a wrongly accused man's name and her own. So, you can see why I was drawn to it. I mean, to be honest, for some reason, the cover really kind of pulled me in. I don't know why. Like, it had me. Like the ghost coming out of the windows, the Victorian decrepit house. It had me. So yes, I added it to my TBR shelf in my book haul because this seems really interesting and I hope I'm gonna enjoy it. And the second book is Ghost Ship. It is from P.J. Adelman. Again, seems to be part of this series. I'm not sure, because secondhand books, you never know, where in the series you pick up the book. So hopefully I'm not going to be too lost. So Ghost Ship, a recent transplant to Washington State's charming seaside town of Courtham, Jordan is getting used to sharing her slightly run-down but historical lodging with ghosts. As if living with the long-deceased isn't enough of a challenge, she just found a corpse. The town's notorious womanizer, Holt Stillwell, is lying on the beach with a bullet in his head. Before Jordan can reel in a suspect, another victim surfaces, and this one isn't taking murder lying down. Holt's ancestor, Michael Severi, the Pacific Northwest's most infamous Shanghaier, has materialized in Jordan's house seeking to solve his own death in a suspicious shipwreck in 1893. With 2 murders to solve and a killer on the loose, Jordan faces yet another equally terrifying prospect: her growing attraction to the very alive and criminally attractive pub owner, Chase Cunningham. So again, the illustration on the cover got me, especially the little doggy in the boat. So this seems fun too, So I was like, okay, let me try this out. I enjoy murder mysteries as a subgenre of romance, so hey, let's try it. Now, I got a Julia Quinn Splendid. There's 2 things everyone knows about Arthur Wrigley. 1, he's the Duke of Ashbourne, and 2, he has no plans to marry anytime soon. This is until a redhead American throws herself in front of a carriage to save his young nephew's life. She's everything Alex never thought a woman could be: funny, smart, principled, and brave. But she's a servant, completely unsuited for a high-born duke, unless perhaps she's not quite what she seems. An American heiress, Emma Dunster, might be surrounded by Englishmen, but that doesn't mean she intends to marry one. Even if she has agreed to participate in one London season, when she's slipped out of her cousin's home, dressed as a kitchen maid, all she wanted was one last taste of anonymity. Ooh, sorry, that word gets me. Before her debut. She never dreamed she'd find herself in the arms of a dangerously handsome duke, or that he'd be quite so upset when he discovers her true identity. But true love tends to blossom just when one least expects it, and passion can melt even the most stubborn of hearts. So, I haven't read Julia Quinn. I mean, who hasn't heard of Bridgerton, right? I believe this is the author of Bridgerton. If I'm wrong, my bad. But who hasn't heard of them? So I'm going to give it a try. Again, the synopsis on the back got me because the front cover is kind of plain, This could be a reprinting. I'm not sure. So there we go. Another Julia Quinn. Because, I grab one, I'm going to grab another one, right? To Catch an Heiress. Irresistible attraction. A strange burning pull between man and woman. Okay. Oh, that was a quote from an author. So I thought it was the synopsis. Okay. When Caroline Trent is kidnapped by Blake Ravencroft, she doesn't even try to elude his dangerously handsome agent of the crown. After all, she's been running from unwanted marriage proposals. Yes, Blake believes she's a notorious spy named Carlotta de Leon, but for 6 weeks until she's her 21st birthday, when she'll gain control of her fortune, hiding out in the titillating company of a mysterious captor is awfully convenient. And maybe just a little romantic too. Blake Ravencroft's mission is to bring Carlotta to justice, not to fall in love. His heart has been hardened by years of intrigue, but this little temptress proves oddly disarming and thoroughly kissable. And suddenly, the unthinkable becomes possible. That is, the mismatched couple might be destined for love. I mean, if I'm honest, the name Ravencroft kind of pulled me in more than the back cover. But that's just me being like, a D&D nerd, so don't worry about it. The cover, again, kind of in that plainish kind of thing. I don't know if this is a reprinting This was printed in 1998. So again, I'm gonna give it a try. You know, see what's up. My dog. There's this neighborhood cat that likes to shake its butt in the window. Drives him nuts. So the first name of this author I always struggle with. I think it's Eloisa. Eloisa James, The Reluctant Countess. A would-be wallflower novel. What's with the wallflower themes? Can we stop, please? It's annoying. Giles Renwick, Earl of Lilford, has never made a fool of himself over a woman until he meets Lady Yasmin Rainier. That's how I'm going to pronounce it. Yasmin is ineligible for his attentions in every way. Not as a wife, certainly not as a mistress, nor as a friend. Since they vehemently dislike each other, her gowns are cut far too low, and she loves to gossip. Rather than dignified, she's scandalous. So what in heaven's name possesses him to propose, and what will he do if she says yes? So this one got me intrigued because it's kind of rare when like the gossipy girl is the main couple in the group, you know what I mean? And I do like that twist. Like The Devil That Tamed Her is one of my favorites from Johanna Lindsey, and it kind of has that, like the gossipy mean girl from the book prior to that one is the romantic lead. So I'm interested in this for that reason. And I think I read one of her books before, and I found her all right. So let's see. All right. Now this one, Eloisa James, A Kiss at Midnight, and this has a pretty little step back. Look at that. So, Miss Kate Darling doesn't believe in fairy tales or happily ever after. Forced by her stepmother to attend a ball, Kate meets a prince and decides he's anything but charming. A clash of wits and wills ensues, but they both know their irresistible attraction will lead nowhere. For Gabriel is promised to another woman, a princess who, hand in marriage, will fulfill his ruthless ambitions. Gabriel likes his fiancée, which is a welcome turn of events, but he doesn't love her. Obviously, he should be wooing his bride-to-be, not the witty, impoverished beauty who refuses to fawn over him. Godmothers and glass slippers notwithstanding, this is one fairy tale in which destiny conspires to destroy any chance that Kate and Gabriel might have at happily ever after. Unless a prince throws away everything that makes him noble, unless a dowry of an unruly heart trumps a fortune, unless one kiss at the stroke of midnight changes everything. So, this I got interested in because I do like when people do their own spin on classic fairy tales, and obviously this is a Cinderella one, so I was interested in that. Okay. Alright, now to the pile of Lisa Kleypas's. Alright, Lisa Kleypas, Prince of Dreams. This one was 1995, so who knows. And again, the books I'm reading now, I got my secondhand bookstore. Really good condition considering, right? This one has a little, like, I need to use some glue be gone over here, but okay. Prince of Dreams, the most dangerous and desirable man in all of England, Nicholas burns to possess Emma Stokehurst. But the proud, headstrong beauty is promised to another. Still, there are no limits to how far the wealthy, bitter exile will go to win her exclusive heart, though owning Emma's body but not her love will do nothing to fill the empty spaces in his heart. But Nicholas's destiny awaits him elsewhere as passion's magic transport him to a different place, a land of splendor and romantic dreams, for only there can he experience true ecstasy in one remarkable woman's tender touch, achingly familiar, yet gloriously new, and learn at last to love. So, I read the back of it, and I was like, what the hell is this about? Because it doesn't really explain much, and I don't go by Lisa Kleypas's titles because they mean F all. Most of the time, they have nothing to do with what's going on, or I can't, like, piece my tiny pea-sized brain into figure out how they relate to the story I just read. So, alright. Now, this one, you'll see I have bookmark because this is the one I'm trying to get over my slump in reading, and I don't know if I picked the wrong one to try because so far, super bored. But that could be my slump. With Lisa Kleypas, I tend to go the gambit of emotions. Bored, intrigued, annoyed, love them, annoyed again, hate them, and then love them again. So, we'll see. We'll see. And yes, you want to see what bookmark I'm using? Oh my god. It's like stupid Barnes & Noble's like, hey, you get our MasterCard thing. Because I have so many beautiful bookmarks and mostly gifts. And I lose them. I like wreck them, like break them, crumple them. And they're so pretty that I keep them in like my little like memory chest. You know, every once in a while I'm like, ooh, I open the chest, I look at them like, ooh, precious. And I put them back. Because, so I use like stupid things like this as bookmarks. Ay, ay, ay. All right. And this is the last of the books I got at my secondhand store. And they were all like, so 8 books under 20 bucks. I love a good deal. I love a good deal. Okay. So this is Lisa Kleypas, Worth Any Price, Bow Street Runners. I don't know which book it is in the Bow Street Runners series. I'm thinking 3, but one thing this author does so well, you don't need, for most of the time, I think 1 or 2 books I was confused, but you don't need to read like book 1, book 2 to figure out what's going on. They're very good at that. That is very much true. Because when you like to do thrift store shopping like I do, because the thrill of the deal, it's good when you find an author that you can read their books out of sequence and it's not a big deal. You know what I mean? And this is definitely one that I can. Okay. Nick Gentry, the most seductive and dangerous man in England, has been sent to find Charlotte Howard, a runaway bride who has disappeared without a trace. But when he finds her, Nick is stunned by the intensity of his attraction to the elusive young woman whose dangerous spirit matches his own. Determined to escape a forced marriage to a man who will destroy her, Charlotte agrees to a bargain. She will become Nick's bride, but soon she discovers that Nick has secrets of his own, and it will take all her wits and stubborn will to tame his tormented soul. In the desperate quest to protect Charlotte from a diabolical aristocrat who threatens her, one thing becomes clear. To save the woman he loves, Nick will take any risk and pay any price. So, sorry I stumbled a little bit. My dyslexia is strong today. So far, let's see what page I'm in. 156, and the story is about 308 pages. So far, bored. Hopefully I'll finish it up for next week's, the normal book review. Again, I don't take her titles as anything to do with the book because they make no goddamn sense. Or have like next to nothing to do with the actual story. So, all right, now these 3 books I got at Barnes & Noble's. They're all Lisa Kleypas, and I believe they will complete my Ravenclaw, Revenal, Revenal. Hello, Ravenclaw is kind of a cool name. Revenal story. Okay. Yeah. Lisa Kleypas, Chasing Cassandra. Nice front, and then the step bag, very pretty. Yeah, I mean, I have Instagram. I'll probably link it below if you want. I just mostly put pictures of my dog, but should I be doing pictures of pretty step backs I find? What do you guys think? I would love to hear your opinion. Love to hear it. Everything has a price. Runaway magnate Tom Servin is wealthy, powerful, enough to satisfy any desire as soon as it arises. Anything or anyone is for the asking. It should be simple to find the perfect wife, and from his first glimpse of Lady Cassandra Revenal, he is determined to have her. But the beautiful and quick-witted Cassandra is equally determined to marry for love, the one thing he can't give. Everything except her. Servin is the most compelling and attractive man Cassandra has ever met, even if his heart is frozen. but she has no interest in the fast-paced world of the ruthless man who always plays to win. When a newfound enemy nearly destroys Cassandra's reputation, Servant seizes the opportunity he's been waiting for. As always, he gets what he wants, or does he? There's one lesson Tom Servant has yet to learn from his new bride. Never underestimate a Revenant. The chase for Cassandra's hand may be over, but the chase for her heart has only begun. Now, for Lisa Kleypas, beautiful step back also. This title seems very on the nose, so I am suspicious. And by the way, the 8 books from my used bookstore was less than 3 books from Barnes & Nobles. I'm just saying. All right, let's see. Okay. Lisa Kleypas, Marrying Winterbourne, The Revenants, book 2. Actually has book 2 on that. I feel like that's so rare. Like, why do I feel like that's so rare? Anyway, a ruthless tycoon. Savage ambition has brought common-born Rhys Witherbourne vast wealth and success in business beyond. Rhys gets exactly what he wants, and from the moment he meets the shy aristocrat Lady Helen Revenant, he is determined to possess her. If he must take her virtue to ensure she marries him, so much the better. A sheltered beauty. Helen has had little contact with the glittery, cynical world of London society, yet Rhys's determined seduction awakens an intense mutual passion. Helen's gentle upbringing belays a stubborn conviction that only she can tame her unruly husband. As Rhys's enemies conspire against them, Helen must trust him with her darkest secrets to risk an unthinkable. The risks are unthinkable, the reward a lifetime of incomparable bliss. And it all begins with Marrying a Winterbourne. Again, a very on the nose title for what's written in the back and what the story about. So I am super suspicious and do not trust it. And then, okay. Lisa, and this is the last one, I promise. Lisa Kleypas' Cold-Hearted Rank. And then it has a pretty little step back. There we go. A Twist of Fate. Devin Revenant, London's most wicked, charming rank, has just inherited an earldom, but his powerful new rank in society comes with an unwanted responsibility and more than a few surprises. His estate is saddled with debt, and the late Earl's 3 innocent sisters are still occupying the house, along with Kathleen, Lady Trennier, a beautiful young widow whose sharp wit and determination are a match for Devin's own. A clash of wills. Kathleen knows better than to trust a ruthless scoundrel like Devin. But the fiery attraction between them is impossible to deny, and from the first moment Devin holds her in his arms, he vows to do whatever it takes to possess her. As Kathleen finds herself yielding to his skillful erotic seduction, one question remains. Can she keep from surrendering her heart to the most dangerous man she has ever met? Okay, so that should close up the Revenant series that I've been reading. Have you noticed something similar in all 3 of those Lisa Kleypas books I just read, the Revenant? The men seem shockingly similar on the back, don't they? I have found that to be a problem with her, this writing. The women, all unique, all very different, and that's fantastic. The men seem to be like, there seems to be like a checklist of like personality types and backgrounds, and she's like, I'm gonna have personality type 2 with tragic background number 3. You know what I mean? Just seems very formulaic, the guys do. So this will be interesting. I mean, you know, we'll see. We'll see. So that is my first book haul for you guys. And they will be under the Zen Elefante. So you'll probably see them in my other videos, and feel free to be like, hey, when are you going to read that? Hey, control your crow brain and read from your TBR shelf. Okay. I don't want to, but it's time for me to get back to the real world. Like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you later. Bye.